Alright guys, we're back to Let's Play Super Mario... Oh god. Up, down, left, right, hold down A, start! Yeah! If you guys are wondering why the levels are ordered the way they are here at this prompt, is because this is the original order that Sonic Team was going to put this in. Difficulty spikes in my Sonic memories? Yeah, I couldn't imagine skipping straight from Green Hill Zone to Labyrinth Zone. That would be such a hassle. For younger players. It'd been crazy. But I imagine that prompt was more... I guess it could be considered a cheat, but I'd imagine it was more of a debugger menu for the developers to use. And that's me speaking from a game designer standpoint, since I do, design games. I'm not saying that I'm pro at designing games, like, oh yeah, I've seen your Game Maker videos. Basically, I don't know, like, not quite sure how they made this game, what coding they actually used to make this game, but I imagine it was more of a debugger option for them to, quickly get to different levels and test them, and test different, sprites and object instances, the mechs, and whatnot, instead of having to play through it. I'm not quite sure if they could just, skip through it with the software or not. I know at a certain point, like when I make my games, at a certain point it is easier just to have like a prompt just to skip to the part in the game, because otherwise you have to end up taking the level piece and basically moving it to where you actually start your game in that manner. And oh my god, they almost co-opted me just there. But I'm getting some weird momentum spikes here. Strange. I'm like picking up speed dramatically per jump. But awesome. Actually, I don't know. Since I am like restarting the game, that's how I'm doing this one. I'm just restarting it through the prompt that I spent like what 2 minutes talking about. I don't know. Like, there's really, seriously, there's like no reason to go out of your way to get the Chaos Emeralds in this game. You basically get no reward other than, short little sequence at the end of Sonic looking dumbfounded whenever the emeralds scatter after you just collected them all. So that's definitely not rewarding enough for me to actually get it. So, but yeah, that was just me speaking from a designer standpoint. Not to say that it was their method of debugging, but that's just my guess. In theory, those of you who watch this are, completely free to comment on that, like, no, this is what it's really used for, or hey, it was just a code that they graciously put in for us gamers. I don't know. I suppose I could, quickly wiki it real fast, just sort of, look it up. Yes, double shield, double. But, that's just my assumption. But yeah, I was never really a big fan of this zone. This zone seems a bit depressing. I don't know, I guess views are different, based on who you are and who you play it with, I guess. I guess, Like, me personally, I was always an only child. And whenever I play this, it was just, you know... Like, when you sit... Like, seriously, when you play any kind of game alone, usually, you know... It's fine up until a point, but then, you know, it starts to get kind of sad, almost. Like, you're just sitting there playing the game, you know, by yourself, and you're like, wow, you know, I kind of wish you had someone to play with. But I'm not here to rant about my, empty I wouldn't say I had an empty childhood, but, you know... I'm sure those who were only child, or only children, not sure how you'd word that, can relate to what I'm saying. Wow. Yeah, sometimes here you can really get, you know, off-screen by these things. Especially in, the port Sonic Genesis. It's terrible. Complete shenanigans. Act 2. Alright, Act 3. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and, do this indeed. You know, those things are very awkward. Like, there are times where okay. There are times where I actually, like, roll into them, like, head-on. And they'll still hurt me, which tells me that, wow, okay, that there's like an error in the sprite speed collision with the oh god, like using Game Maker terms to describe this, like what I'm actually trying to describe. Using Game Maker terms is not always helpful because not everyone knows these terms. So it can be quite annoying indeed. Quite annoying. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys saw that little, you know, blending there, but, as most of you may know, God, my compressor / capture card is an ass. So when it comes to, yeah, I should have took that jump. Alright, is a complete ass, and, basically, I cannot record videos for too long, or else it'll have, like, this complete, total failure, capturing the actual video. It won't give me a chance to save it at all. It usually happens more when there's audio involved. Even when there's not audio, the error tends to happen, so yeah, usually I try to work it in the best I can. I should have done it like between acts. I did that last time, but I was, you know, just wasn't really, you know, anticipating that. I was just sort of going, so yeah, I try to work it in between acts if I can. Very sorry if that was, you know, just completely random, like, oh god, a blending effect, LP ruined. But, yeah, basically, you know, Game Maker is just totally awesome, and, the people who watch my Game Maker videos, they can, you know, definitely see how awesome it really is. Especially those who actually use Game Maker themselves, they know how to work it. But for the most part, yeah, this game isn't too bad when it comes to glitches, but there are definitely some collision errors, some momentum failure in this game that could definitely be patched up a bit. But again, I'm not quite complaining. I'm just sort of, you know, analyzing. Because that's what game makers do, right? Sonic has passed Act 3. Ah, yes, if we've done it the legit way, it would have been Labyrinth Zone. But seriously. I don't know, This is Spring Yard Zone. Pretty cool background. I like the way it looks. It's just sort of, you know, it definitely gives you that Genesis feel, because there's a lot of Genesis games that use like great building backgrounds, and you know, very blendy indeed. I think these are mountains too. Are the mountains? Random buildings. A nice not much gradiency in the sky, but you know, has that feel of you know, the evening cast. But I have ranted long enough. As like I said, you know, zone per part. So this is more of like a little preview, I guess. So I'll catch you guys later, and catch you guys 6 signing off.